The story continues as Xiao Yan discovered that the blood spirit ice essence had not fully formed, with its core still tainted by a spirit of resentment. To cleanse it, Xiao Yan used his heavenly flame in an attempt to refine the essence. The spirit of resentment gradually regained some of its intelligence and faced Xiao Yan's attack, a swarm of 9 massive flame serpents. Even though it managed to defend itself, it sensed a dangerous aura from the attack and let out an angry roar. The spirit of resentment bellowed, and in response, eerie black chi rapidly surged from the depths of the ghost-suppressing well, swirling around the spirit under Xiao Yan's watchful eyes. "Stop it! Don't let it absorb this!" The Golden Dragon King's voice echoed in Xiao Yan's mind. Xiao Yan sprang into action. "Damn beast, just born and already so intelligent," he thought as, in the next instant, his 9 flame serpents shattered the spirit's defenses with a thunderous crash. "Zhu!" Xiao Yan shouted, and the ancient ruler of heavenly flames strapped to his back swiftly sliced through the ominous black chi rushing toward him. Shwa shwa. Under the combined force of the ruler's flame and the dragon's spirit, the strange black chi was instantly severed by a blazing flame. The fire didn't dissipate. Instead, it enveloped the bottom of the ghost-suppressing well, sealing off the source of the black chi. Deprived of its power source, the chi dispersed into the depths of the well. Sensing the disruption, the spirit of resentment roared furiously, its eyes darkening even more. What was that sound? Mu Feng asked in confusion as Xiao Yan's attack reverberated throughout the well. "That aura. It must be Xiao Yan," Yuru exclaimed, her voice rising. "We need to pick up the pace," she urged. Yes. The two hastened their steps, but still kept enough distance to remain in contact with each other. Their slow pace had been due to caution. After all, not everyone possessed Xiao Yan's terrifying soul perception, which had forced them to tread carefully. What kind of fluctuation is this? A girl with twin pigtails looked curiously toward the commotion. Someone else entered the ghost-suppressing well? Heavenly fire, sacred tiger murmured. "It seems like it's a flame aura, somewhat similar to yours," the tiger added after sensing it carefully. Mu Yingying casually acknowledged, though she too could feel the terrifying power of the flame. Confident in her own fire prowess, however, she paid it no mind and continued stepping lightly toward the cave ahead. Deep within the ghost-suppressing well, eerie wails echoed, accompanied by Xiao Yan's attacks. The previously quiet well had turned bizarrely unsettling. "Damn beast, just born, and you're already summoning the ghostly chi from within the well to replenish yourself. How cunning," Xiao Yan muttered to himself, a smile playing on his lips as he stared at the spirit of resentment before him. The spirit hadn't originally taken Xiao Yan seriously. From its perception, Xiao Yan's strength was pitifully weak, and although it had just been born, it believed it had the advantage. After all, with the endless ghostly chi of the well at its disposal, it could easily outlast Xiao Yan. But after enduring the devastating 9-serpent attack, the spirit of resentment had no choice but to reassess Xiao Yan. Realizing his true strength, it quickly resorted to its innate ability, drawing in more ghostly chi to enhance itself for the impending battle. "Human, don't be so arrogant," the spirit croaked, its voice halting like that of a newborn trying to speak. "Ha ha ha." Xiao Yan laughed. "Spirit of resentment, since I helped you come into being, it's time for you to return from where you came," he declared, unleashing the full might of his early-stage 4-star Do-D power. Xiao Yan wasn't boasting without reason. The blood spirit ice essence at the bottom of the ghost-suppressing well still lacked a crucial component to reach its final form. That component was refinement, using the spirit of resentment, born from the essence itself, to complete the transformation. Only then would the essence become a true blood spirit ice essence. Otherwise, its violent nature would affect Xiao Yan's mind during the eventual absorption of the sacred flame, something Xiao Yan would not allow to happen. "You?" The spirit of resentment was infuriated by Xiao Yan's words. It had been born from the blood of countless humans under a rare and mysterious coincidence. How could it simply vanish on command? Moreover, this was the ghost-suppressing well, located deep within the forest of corpses, a place saturated with ghostly qi. As long as the spirit of resentment continued to absorb this ghostly qi, it would eventually gain considerable power. But Xiao Yan clearly wasn't about to give the spirit such an opportunity. After all, the spirit's strength was only on par with a human 3-star Do D, and Xiao Yan could handle it with ease. Finish it quickly, before something unexpected happens, the voice of the Golden Dragon King urged. He seemed to have noticed the growing wails from the depths of the well. Understood, Xiao Yan replied. Channeling the flame mantra within him, Do Qi surged toward the tip of his ruler, and with both hands tightly gripping the weapon, he raised it toward the spirit of resentment. How dare you? The spirit cried out in fear, fully aware of its inevitable fate under such a terrifying attack. But Xiao Yan wasn't about to show any mercy. His immense soul power locked onto the spirit, making it impossible to escape. With a subtle flick of the ancient ruler of heavenly flames, he unleashed the full might of 3,000 lightning movement, ruthlessly striking at the spirit. Boom, boom, boom. At the bottom of the well, Xiao Yan's ruler descended again and again, and soon a massive wound appeared on the spirit's abdomen, a clear result of Xiao Yan's assault. Damn it! How did you know my weakness? The spirit of resentment muttered. It hadn't fled earlier because, for one, it was in the ghost-suppressing well, where the twin ghost emperors were sealed. But it had also been confident in its resilience, knowing it was incredibly difficult to kill. However, this confidence meant little to Xiao Yan. Before Xiao Yan had attacked, his master, the Golden Dragon King, had informed him that the spirit's weak spot was in its abdomen, where all its energy converged. Only by striking this point could the spirit be killed with a single blow. And Xiao Yan had succeeded. The spirit of resentment's expression was one of disbelief as its form slowly dissolved into fragments, vanishing into nothingness. Xiao Yan let out a sigh of relief at the sight. Don't just stand there, the Golden Dragon King snapped. Collect the fragments of the spirit and refine the blood spirit ice essence. Despite the scolding, his voice was full of satisfaction. Snapped back to attention, Xiao Yan quickly moved to gather the fragments. As the spirit of resentment's body disintegrated, the ghostly qi within it leaked out uncontrollably, causing the spirit to shrink rapidly like a deflating balloon. Eventually, it shattered into countless pieces, drifting away on the wind within the well. Swish, swish. Some blood-red fragments tried to escape deeper into the well. These fragments contained remnants of the spirit's power, and if they managed to flee, another spirit of resentment could potentially emerge in hundreds or even thousands of years. But Xiao Yan had other plans for those fragments, so he wasn't about to let them get away. With swift precision, he captured the shards in his hand, erasing all traces of life from the spirit. Now then, it's time to reap the rewards. Xiao Yan glanced at the blood-red fragments in his hand before taking a few steps forward, approaching the pool of water before him. The water had also turned blood-red, split into two pools on either side. Xiao Yan smiled and, with a casual wave of his hand, the two pools merged into one, though something still seemed to be missing. Go on, Xiao Yan muttered softly as he loosened his grip, letting the blood-red fragments fall slowly into the water. The water at the bottom of the ghost-suppressing well seemed to tremble with excitement, as though it had a life of its own. Plop! As the fragments fell, the blood-red water began to bubble furiously. Bubbles rose continuously, yet despite the agitation, the temperature in the well was strangely cold. The fragments, now swallowed by the water, began to be slowly digested. 1 minute, 2 minutes. Time passed, and Xiao Yan could feel the water in front of him becoming incredibly vibrant. Yes, vibrant, like the redness of an apple, rather than the eerie blood-red hue from before. Success! Xiao Yan exclaimed joyfully. Though the pool had shrunk significantly, the remaining liquid was just enough. Carefully, Xiao Yan pulled out a high-quality jade bottle and gently collected the liquid. His cautious actions drew a hearty laugh from the Golden Dragon King. But as Xiao Yan explained, this was a critical moment. This was no ordinary harvest, but the key to devouring the sacred flame. The blood spirit ice essence was far too precious. How could he afford to waste even a drop? Perhaps even the smallest detail could determine the success or failure of Xiao Yan's eventual sacred flame devouring. Under the laughter of the Golden Dragon King, Xiao Yan meticulously collected every last drop of the liquid before him. 17 bottles. A full 17 bottles. Xiao Yan knew all too well the terrifyingly cold temperature of the blood spirit ice essence, and with so much in hand, he finally felt a bit more confident about his chances of devouring the sacred flame. Sacred flame, he muttered softly, carefully stowing away the 17 bottles of essence. Wait for me. I wonder how Ru and the others are doing up above, Xiao Yan thought aloud, shaking his head. Although the trip to the forest of corpses had yielded the precious blood spirit ice essence, there were still things within the ghost-suppressing well that piqued his interest, so he wasn't planning to leave just yet. We finally reached the bottom of the well. How could this damn well be so deep? Mu Feng's voice echoed through the well. It's really eerie. Who's there? Ru followed closely behind Mu Feng and suddenly spotted a figure in black with a large ruler strapped to his back. Given the poor lighting at the bottom of the well, she couldn't make out his face and immediately grew wary. It's me, Xiao Yan called out. What are you two doing down here? He summoned a flame to light the area, revealing his face. Mu Feng and Ru recognized him and quickly relaxed. Heh, Ru was worried about you and thought something might have happened, so? Mu Feng quickly improvised. At his words, Ru's face flushed slightly, though it was difficult to tell in the dim lighting of the well. Xiao Yan, did you find anything? Ru hurriedly changed the subject. Not much. I just got here and was tangled up with some mysterious creature. We fought for a bit, Xiao Yan sighed. But it got away. The temperature here seems unusually cold. The air here feels eerie and full of chilling qi. Mu Feng glanced around the bottom of the well and noticed traces of a battle. Xiao Yan, where's the thing you were looking for? Mu Feng's eyes flickered as if remembering something. It should still be further in, Xiao Yan said thoughtfully. Further in? According to my investigation, something terrifying is sealed deep within this well. If it's still inside, Mu Feng hesitated. Do we really have to go? It's a matter of life and death, Xiao Yan replied calmly. Let's go then. While we still have time, we might as well explore the well. And I can show you my skills, heh, Mu Feng grinned. Despite knowing that powerful beings lurked within the well, his resolve to move forward surprised Xiao Yan, who felt a surge of gratitude toward his brave friend. Let's go. Don't worry, with me here, nothing will happen. Xiao Yan smiled and took the lead. Ru bit her lips slightly, following closely behind. Hey, that's my line. Stop stealing my words. Mu Feng grumbled, clearly annoyed. But anyone could see that behind his tough words, he was just a soft-hearted friend, and his complaints were light-hearted. The three of them carefully made their way along the passage at the bottom of the ghost-suppressing well. Their pace was slow, as the unknown dangers around them forced them to move cautiously. After all, the unknown was the most terrifying thing. Go this way, here, and over there. Following Xiao Yan's lead, they navigated the winding paths of the well. Xiao Yan claimed to feel something calling to him from deeper within, and the other two followed without question. Be careful. We're getting close to the deepest part of the well. Xiao Yan suddenly raised a hand to stop them, speaking in a low voice. What could be down here? And why do those wailing voices sound so sorrowful? Mu Feng, a seasoned warrior familiar with battles against demons and ghosts, couldn't help but feel uneasy. I don't know, but we should stay on our guard, Xiao Yan responded. He had only managed to make it this far with the guidance of Long Yi. Otherwise, the labyrinthine paths of the well would have easily overwhelmed him. Is there no way forward? Xiao Yan asked silently in his mind, conversing with Long Yi. Meanwhile, his master, the Golden Dragon King, was keeping an eye on the surroundings, ready to warn Xiao Yan of any sudden dangers. Wait, Long Yi's voice rang out. This seems to be the sealed gate of the ghost-suppressing well. Sealed gate? Xiao Yan echoed Long Yi's shocked words, his expression darkening slightly. That's right, Long Yi continued. The passages in this well were built to confuse anyone searching for the other half of the twin ghost emperors. The water at the bottom of the well was also formed from human souls, and this sealed gate is located closest to the twin ghost emperors to prevent anyone from tampering with their seal. It's said that there's a sealed gate at the closest point to the twin ghost emperors, specially set up to isolate them from any interference. So the legends are true, Long mused. The sealed gate, Xiao Yan muttered to himself, staring at the massive black gate before them. Before them stood an enormous black door that completely blocked the passageway, leaving no gaps. This black door was none other than the sealed gate where Phantom Spring Ghost Spirit and Mu Ying had previously arrived, though the earlier groups had found themselves helpless and were forced to turn back. Xiao Yan's immense soul power instantly enveloped the massive black gate, but to his confusion, there were no fluctuations at all from the gate. As he furrowed his brow in thought, Mu Feng spoke up. This gate is so strange. Mu Feng had noticed Xiao Yan's pause and turned to see the black gate blocking their path. What's so strange about it? Yuru, having little experience with such things, didn't perceive anything unusual. This gate is maintained by several distinct forces that balance each other out, Mu Feng explained. There's overwhelming ghostly qi all around us in the ghost-suppressing well, but the gate itself has no trace of it. In fact, if you pay close attention, you'll notice that the ghostly qi seems to fear this gate. Could this be the legendary sealed gate of the ghost-suppressing well? Mu Feng continued. Approaching the massive door, curiosity piqued. This Mu Feng really knows his stuff, Xiao Yan murmured, clearly surprised by Mu Feng's knowledge. Xiao Yan stepped forward, joining Mu Feng as they both studied the black gate, with Yuru following close behind. Swish swish. As Mu Feng lightly touched the sealed gate, a tiny tricolored light flickered on the door's surface and surged toward him. Watch out. Xiao Yan had been on alert, expecting the sealed gate to be more than it appeared. The moment he sensed the gate's reaction, he pulled Mu Feng back, dodging the attack just in time. In a flash, the tricolored light shot past them and struck the space behind. The three of them quickly jumped aside, narrowly avoiding the attack. The light streaked toward the back of the tunnel with alarming speed. That was close, Mu Feng muttered, breathing a sigh of relief. The tricolored light had been terrifyingly powerful. Thanks, Xiao Yan, he added, casting a grateful look at him before turning his attention back to the gate. This tricolored light seems familiar, Mu Feng mumbled to himself, lost in thought. As the three of them continued to stare at the sealed gate, the tricolored light that had shot past them rebounded, returning toward them with even greater speed. The space around the light trembled slightly, a clear sign of its strange power. Damn it! Watch out! Before Yuru could even ask what was happening, she felt someone push her aside. Xiao Yan shouted, drawing the ancient ruler of heavenly flames from his back. In an instant, the ruler collided with the returning tricolored light. Boom, boom, boom. The clash didn't produce an earth-shattering explosion. Instead, the two forces locked together in a silent, stone-like stalemate within the tunnel. Cough, cough. Xiao Yan staggered back several steps before managing to steady himself, a mouthful of blood spilling from his lips. The tricolored light, however, remained unscathed and quickly returned to the sealed gate, which once again became eerily quiet, as if it had never unleashed an attack. Xiao Yan! Yuru cried out, realizing that the tricolored light had been aimed at her. Xiao Yan had taken the blow to protect her. Filled with concern, Yuru rushed to Xiao Yan's side and helped steady him. I'm fine, Xiao Yan reassured her. The tricolored light is just incredibly powerful, that's all. He clenched the ruler tightly, his hands trembling slightly, a lingering effect from the recent clash. That cursed tricolored light is extremely strong, and it even contains spatial power, which is why I didn't notice it in time. But just one strike was enough to push me back, Xiao Yan analyzed, wiping the blood from his mouth. I can sense that the tricolored light has a limited range, but even so, it won't simply return to the gate after an attack, Xiao Yan continued, deep in thought. Be careful, Yuru said, biting her lip. She hated feeling like a burden, and the desire to grow stronger was taking root in her heart, driven by her experiences with Xiao Yan and their recent challenges. Longy, is there really no way to get past this? Xiao Yan asked in frustration. The greatest treasure was right in front of him. How could he walk away now? This sealed gate contains 3 entirely different types of power. Unless you destroy it outright, there's no way to get through, Long Yi responded, his tone serious. But even attempting to destroy it would be too risky. Even a 7-star Do D wouldn't dare try. You've already felt the strength of the tricolored light. Just a small attack is enough to match the power of a peak 5-star Do D, Long Yi warned. What if? Xiao Yan trailed off, undeterred by the challenge. After all, if the treasure were too easy to obtain, it wouldn't be worthy of being called a treasure. What if I absorb the power of the sealed gate into my body? Wouldn't that allow me to open it? Xiao Yan's eyes burned with determination. His body had already undergone the baptism of 23 different heavenly flames and their violent energies. Though the gate's power was terrifying, Xiao Yan believed he could handle it. What do you think? No, absolutely not. Long Yi shouted angrily. Xiao Yan, are you trying to get yourself killed? You can't seriously be considering absorbing the power of the sealed gate. Devouring the power of the sealed gate? The sealing power of this sealed gate was specifically designed to imprison the twin ghost emperors, whose remaining strength could rival that of a human 7-star Do D. If Xiao Yan tried to absorb this power, it would surely be a death sentence. Damn it! Xiao Yan cursed in frustration. Nothing seemed to work, yet he could distinctly feel a mysterious force calling to him from beyond the gate, along with an ominous and evil aura. I might have a way, Mu Feng said suddenly. What way? Xiao Yan asked in disbelief. After their previous encounter with the tricolored light and considering Long Yi's warnings, Xiao Yan was well aware of the terrifying level of power the sealed gate possessed. He had even tried using spatial techniques, but to no avail. The confined space rendered his space-shifting seal useless, as it required familiarity with the destination. Xiao Yan, I need to ask you something, Mu Feng said, his tone serious. Go ahead, Xiao Yan replied. I do have a method to open this sealed gate, Mu Feng began. But behind this gate lies a terrifying ghostly entity. Don't worry, Xiao Yan interrupted, walking over to place a hand on Mu Feng's shoulder. What I need is definitely inside, and if things go south, I'll retreat. No treasure is worth dying for. I understand that. Mu Feng smiled. Xiao Yan, you're a rare friend. All right, let's do this, Xiao Yan said, patting Mu Feng on the shoulder. Be careful when you go in. I don't know exactly what's behind the gate, but the strength of the ghostly entity is unimaginable, Mu Feng cautioned. I'm ready. Let's do it, Xiao Yan replied. Heaven and earth, yin and yang, the 8 trigrams unite. Shatter the seal. Mu Feng began forming intricate hand seals while chanting softly. As Mu Feng performed the technique, the space around them began to shift subtly, as if some mysterious energy was being stirred. Strange forces started to emanate from Mu Feng's body, filling the air with an eerie, dark green light that contrasted sharply with the blackness of the tunnel. The moment Mu Feng activated his technique, the once still sealed gate trembled slightly, revealing a connection between Mu Feng's power and the gate's sealing energy. This kid's mastery of the 8 trigrams technique is quite impressive. Not bad at all. The Golden Dragon King's voice echoed in Xiao Yan's mind, clearly impressed. What treasure could possibly lie beyond this sealed gate? Why does it feel so familiar to me? The Golden Dragon King pondered aloud, his confusion growing. Go! Mu Feng's forehead glistened with sweat as he exerted himself. The technique was clearly draining his Do Qi rapidly. Shatter! Mu Feng shouted as a dark green beam shot from his hand seals and struck the sealed gate. Oddly enough, the gate didn't absorb the energy but instead allowed it to cling to its surface. Break! Mu Feng called out again, releasing an even greater surge of energy toward the gate. Annihilate! Return! With each word, Mu Feng's aura surged to its limit, and the dark green energy on the gate was soon joined by a rotating mix of 4 colors, green, black, white, and yellow, circling the sealed gate continuously. At that moment, Mu Feng's tightly closed eyes shot open. Go! He commanded, sending the last of his remaining Do Qi into the swirling colors on the gate. The instant Mu Feng's green energy touched the swirling colors, they calmed down and began rotating gently around the sealed gate. Tai Chi 8 trigrams. Mu Feng called out, his voice strained but resolute. Unite. Despite being nearly drained of his Do Qi, Mu Feng didn't stop. His hands moved into another intricate seal, causing the four colors to merge together into a black and white Tai Chi 8 trigram symbol that materialized at the center of the sealed gate. The black and white symbol stood still, motionless yet imposing, right in the middle of the gate. Amazing, Xiao Yan muttered, impressed by Mu Feng's mastery of such a powerful technique. As soon as the Tai Chi 8 trigrams appeared, he noticed a small gap form in the seemingly impenetrable sealed gate. It was a tiny crack, but Xiao Yan had sharp enough senses to detect it. Xiao Yan, go! Mu Feng shouted, his voice weak. Maintaining the Tai Chi 8 trigrams consumed a tremendous amount of Do Qi, and Mu Feng's reserves were nearly depleted. Without hesitation, Xiao Yan nodded and transformed into a fine thread of flame, slipping through the crack in the gate and into the Tai Chi 8 trigram symbol. Swish! As soon as Xiao Yan entered, the gate behind him shifted slightly, but the Tai Chi 8 trigram symbol held firm, keeping the opening stable just long enough. Inside, Xiao Yan found himself in an eerily silent, dimly lit space, filled with an overwhelming presence of ghostly energy, and something else, something ancient and powerful, that seemed to be waiting for him. As soon as the flame light representing Xiao Yan entered the Tai Chi 8 trigrams, Mu Feng collapsed onto the ground, gasping for breath. Don't worry. I left a mark on Xiao Yan. I'll be able to sense his safety, so there's no need to be concerned, Mu Feng reassured, closing his eyes to begin restoring his Do Qi. We'll wait for him here, he added before fully immersing himself in recovery. Xiao Yan, I'll pray to the moon goddess for your safe return, Yuru whispered, biting her lips softly. Meanwhile, far away in another area, Mu Lo, stop being so arrogant, one of the ghostly figures roared. This is not your place to command. It was clear that Mu Li's strength was mediocre, and the thought of him trying to lead the others seemed laughable to the ghostly beings. Humph! Mu Lu sneered, there are only 5 days left until the point capture tournament begins, and tomorrow is when the dark moon descends. We must act now, eliminate the remaining obstacles before the dark moon rises, and focus solely on the revival of the twin ghost emperors. His voice was slow and deliberate. Humph! It's not your place to decide that. One of the ghostly figures responded defiantly. Mu Lu scowled at them, then suddenly smirked. I figured you'd react this way. Take a look at this. He pulled out an object from his storage ring. The Ghost Emperor's command? How is this possible? How could such an item still exist? The shadowy figures of the ghostly beings trembled in fear. The blood-red command token in Mu Li's hand was clearly extraordinary. By holding the Ghost Emperor's command, I represent the Ghost Emperor himself. Are you still not going to kneel? Mu Lu demanded arrogantly. Greetings, Ghost Emperor. The ghostly beings had no choice but to kneel, their fear evident. The Ghost Emperor's command wielded incredible power, leaving them with no alternative. By the order of the Ghost Emperor, the plan starts today. We will prepare for the revival of the Ghost Emperor tomorrow, Mu Lu declared, his voice cold. Understood. The ghostly beings responded in unison. Now kill. Let those participating in the point capture tournament understand that the ghost realm will not be defeated so easily. Mu Li's eerie laughter echoed as he gave the command. Once the Ghost Emperor breaks free from the seal, none of them will escape. Ha ha ha. In another location, it seems the plan is progressing smoothly, said Hong Yi, a woman with slightly parted lips, observing the figure in front of her that seemed neither human nor ghostly. Phantom Spring Ghost Spirit. Phantom Spring Ghost Spirit had devoured one half of the twin Ghost Emperors, and black light was now spreading from his abdomen to his limbs, radiating an overwhelming, terrifying power. Strange. Why are the tournament participants decreasing one by one? Could they all have reached the third level? Wu Jiang pondered aloud, sitting in a pavilion with a puzzled expression. Let's go. The dark moon is almost here. I'll show you what's sealed within the forest of corpses, said Xiao Yu, leading the way toward the ghost-suppressing well.